Hello beautiful people of the internet, how are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today in this video I am going to be revisiting last year's December book haul. It's almost Christmas when I plan to hopefully get some more books, so I wanted to watch the book haul that I filmed last Christmas to see how many of those books have I actually read. I've been trying not to buy as many books and been trying to read more of the books that I already own. So let's see how I'm doing, shall we? Happy holidays. Get it? Holiday. Oh, shut up now. Hello. That was really lame, but my hair looked cute back then. I've been wondering what I should do with my hair, and I feel like maybe I should get it to look like it did back then, because it was cute.
I have 11 books to show you if I counted correctly. I'll try to give you a little description about what each book is about.
Okay, so our total's out of 11.
Actually wasn't technically a Christmas present because while I was at the bookstore buying gifts for other people, I saw it and I bought it for myself.
I know what this is and I haven't read it.
I don't make a habit of doing that, but it was on a discount table. It's a signed edition, and I saw it, I had to have it. If you watched my Oh What Fun Readathon vlog, you already know what this is, and that is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi.
Haven't read it yet. So, Children of Blood and Bone. I bought that for myself last December when I was going Christmas shopping. It's a beautiful edition. It's signed by the author, and I had to have it because it was just so beautiful, and it was something that was on my TBR anyway, but I have not read it yet, nor do I think I'm going to get to it soon, because honestly, I'm just not in the mood for it right now. So, maybe sometime in 2020, wow, 2020. I almost said 2019, I forgot what year we're going into. I will read it because I know the sequel has come out now, which is Children of Virtue and Vengeance, I think, but will I be reading it this month? No, I won't.
It's a sequel, so I can't tell you too much about it in case you haven't read the first book yet, and that is Glass Sword, which is the sequel to Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Red Queen is about...
I haven't read that yet either.
Fantasy world.
Kinda. So Glass Sword, which is the second book in the Red Queen series, I said in this video that I was gonna read it in January, which guess what? I did not read that book in January 2019. I did try to read it during the summer, I think, and I ended up DNFing it just because at that time I wasn't really into it, and I would like to give it another shot. However, technically I have not read it yet. I started it, I read maybe the first 100 pages, and then I just put it aside for a while, but technically no. I have not read it yet. So far, I'm 0 for 2. This is not going well. I can see what book it is already, and I already know that I haven't read that yet. Okay, well.
Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. This is a funny historical fiction novel following Monty, who is going on his grand tour of Europe, because that's a thing that people used to do in a historical England when they were coming of age, like a big celebratory tour for young men the world. So Monty is going on a grand tour with his friend Percy, but the thing is, Monty,
this is not good.
City Girls by Karen Slaughter. This is an adult.
That's what I read. I read that. Yay! We have finally gotten to a book in this haul that I have read, Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter, which I read back in June. I think I gave it 4 stars, 4.5 stars maybe. I really enjoyed this as an adult thriller following 2 women named Claire and Julia. They are sisters, and many years ago their other sister went missing and they never found out what happened to her, and the 2 of them have since become estranged. However, Claire and Julia are brought back together when Claire's husband dies. And this is a really good thriller. I really enjoyed it. However, it is very graphic, and it does include violence against women and sexual violence. So if that's something that you're very sensitive towards, then I wouldn't recommend reading this book because it is one of the most violent and twisted thrillers that I've read. However, it is really good.
Up Up next, I have Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco.
I read that too!
Historical fiction.
Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco I read in August. I gave it 3 stars. I did like it, however, I'm not as big a fan of it as some other people were. I know this is some people's very favorite series, and for me it was entertaining, but just okay in the end. This is set in the Victorian era, and it follows a girl named Audrey Rose who wants to be a, what's the word? Oh my god, I just lost it. You know, the person who looks at dead people to identify how they died? Works in a morgue? Mortician? Is that the word? Wow. That thing. She wants to be that thing. Point is, Audrey Rose is interested in some things that during the Victorian time are not seen as becoming a woman of her class. However, when her uncle begins to receive the victims of the serial killer who becomes known as Jack the Ripper, Audrey Rose wants to uncover Jack the Ripper's identity, and she does this with the help of Thomas Croswell, another one of her uncle's students. I found the ending interesting, but not very hard to predict, probably because there's not a whole lot of male characters in this book who it could possibly be, so there were only about 3 different men who I thought could have done it, so really whoever it wasn't going to be surprising because I'd considered all of them. However, I did like Audrey Rose as a main character, and I thought that her and Thomas did have some good interactions. However, I felt like their romance was kind of fast, and also the resolution at the end was just way too rushed for me. However, a lot of people do really like this series, and I would be open to reading the next book, which is, I think, Hunting Prince Dracula, if you guys would like to see me read it. So let me know in the comments, do you think I should continue with this series or not?
Up next, I received Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. This is
another one I read!
Novel.
Yeah! I read Rebecca in the month of June, the same month that I read Pretty Girls, and I ended up giving this one 4 stars. So Rebecca is a classic thriller novel that follows an unnamed narrator who marries the wealthy Maxime de Winter after a whirlwind romance. He takes her back to his estate Manderley. However, the estate is still permeated by the spirit of Maxime's dead ex-wife Rebecca, and our narrator finds herself consumed by the thought of being like Rebecca, that she'll never live up to Rebecca. And she also has a very antagonistic relationship with the housekeeper at Manderley, who was very close to the first Mrs. de Winter while she was still alive. Now, I did really like this book. It had a slow beginning, but it was also very atmospheric, and there were some good turns in the plot. I think I could have given it 5 stars if the plot twist, or one of the twists in the book, hadn't been spoiled for me by somebody on Twitter. So that kind of put a damper on it. Also, I started reading this when I was still at college and going through exams and stuff for that semester, and I ended up putting it down for a while, and then I picked it back up. And honestly, I thought it was really well done. I can understand why so many people love this book, but it just wasn't quite 5 stars for me, and I think had the circumstances been different, it could have been 5 stars. Next, I have a young adult fantasy novel. It is Wicked Like a Wildfire by Lana. Another one that I have not read. Wicked Like a Wildfire. Honestly, I don't even really remember what the plot of this book is. It was kind of a cover buy for me. It was so beautiful that I just wanted to read it because I loved the cover so much. So, haven't read it yet, and I don't even really have much to say about it. Wow, I am ashamed.
Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is a psychological thriller.
The Secret History by Donna Tartt is one that I really thought I was going to get to this year. I even put it on my 5-star predictions because I've heard so many people rave about this book. It follows a group of friends at a prestigious college or boarding school, I don't remember, and one of the friends ends up dead. So many people love this book, and I thought for sure I was going to love it too. I just haven't gotten to it yet this year, and also recently I've heard more negative reviews coming from people reading this for the first time, so that does make me a little apprehensive about picking it up. I think this book was written in the 90s, so maybe certain aspects of it haven't aged well. I'm definitely going to get to it. I just don't know when that's going to be.
We have The Sisters of the Winter Wood by Rena Rosner. I hope I'm saying her name right.
I haven't read that either.
This is a fantasy novel which is based off the...
Great moment to pause this video. Look at my beautiful face. Just gorgeous.
And surprise, surprise, another one I'm really excited about. And this is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So,
I read that! Yay!
I've heard
Okay, last book
in this haul is Fire and Blood, Part 1 by George R.R. Martin.
I read that too! Ending this video on a positive note! Fire and Blood Part 1, which I read in 2019, is part of the A Song of Ice and Fire world. It is a mock history of House Targaryen and their long reign in Westeros. I read this from the end of December 2018 into January 2019. I think I ended up giving it 4 or 4.5 stars. I don't remember. I did really enjoy this though. There were some flaws in it. Also, this book is now going to be adapted into the new Game of Thrones spin-off series at HBO entitled House of the Dragon, which I do want to tune into. However, I am much more apprehensive about this series now. It was my all-time favorite, and I guess I would say it still is. However, I hated the final season of Game of Thrones so much. It disappointed me in almost every way. There were very few things I actually liked about it. And now I've been trying to read Dance with Dragons, the last book in the main A Song of Ice and Fire series, for months. And I just can't get into it because I'm worried that I'm going to continue reading all of George's books and they're just going to end as poorly as Game of Thrones did, and I'm just gonna feel like Boo Boo the Fool. So I really can't get into this series like I used to. I feel like the wound is still so fresh, so to speak. Every time I think about what happened at the end of Game of Thrones, it makes me feel like an idiot all over again who just wasted her time. However, I do want to finish the series. I do want to read Fire and Blood Part 2 when it comes out, and I will check out the spin-off to see if I want to invest my time in it or not. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I did enjoy Fire and Blood a lot when I read it, and I'm excited for Part 2 to come out, hopefully soon, but not before the Winds of Winter. I need that in 2020. Please, George R.R. Martin, I need you. This is our darkest hour. Give us the Winds of Winter. Some people have been waiting 8 years for this book. I can't imagine. So everyone, that is it for my Christmas book haul revisited. Let me know how many of the books that you got last Christmas have you read and how many are still on your TBR. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new videos every Wednesday. My social media links are down below if you want to follow me on Tumblr or Bookstagram or be my friend on Goodreads. Thank you so much for watching this video, everyone, and I hope you have a tremendous rest of your day. Bye, and I hope to see you in the next video.